श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवशरि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवशरि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवशरि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotee. So today is Wednesday. It is 7th of January 2026. It is Madhava Masa or Magha Masa, Krishna Paksham, and Chaviti and Panchami days. Both these are falling on the same day. Okay, so there are two events today. One is appearance day of Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami. Second one is disappearance day of Srila Ramachandra Kaviraja. Okay, those are the two events. So you shall read a few lines from Special Vaishnava Days. I have shared this one in the group already. I shall read it from the event's perspective. Okay, so today is appearance of Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami, one of the band of 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. He established Sri Radha Ramana temple in Vrindavan after one of his Salagram Silas self-manifested as a beautiful and intricately carved deity. From the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela chapter 10, the trunk, branches and sub-branches of the Chaitanya tree, text 105, Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, the 47th branch, was one of the great and exalted branches of the tree. He always engaged in discourses about love of Godhead in the company of Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. Shri Gopal Bhatta Goswami was son of Venkata Bhatta, a resident of Sri Rangam. Gopal Bhatta formerly belonged to the disciplic succession of the Ramanuja Sampradaya, but later became part of the Gaudiya Sampradaya. In the year 1433 Sekabdha, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was touring South India, he stayed for 4 months during the period of Chaturmasya at the house of Venkata Bhatta, who then got the opportunity to serve the Lord to his heart's content. Gopala Bhatta also got the opportunity to serve the Lord at this time. Shri Gopala Bhatta Goswami was later initiated by his uncle, the great sannyasi Prabodhananda Saraswati. Both the father and mother of Gopala Bhatta Goswami were extremely fortunate, for they dedicated their entire lives to the service of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They allowed Gopala Bhatta Goswami to go to Vrindavana and they gave up their lives thinking of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Lord Chaitanya was later informed that Gopal Bhatta Goswami had gone to Vrindavana and met Sri Rupa and Sanatana Goswami, he was very pleased and he advised Sri Rupa and Sanatana to accept Gopal Bhatta Goswami as their younger brother and take care of him. Sri Sanatan Goswami, out of his great affection for Gopal Bhatta Goswami, compiled the Vaishnava Smriti named Hari Bhakti Vilasa and published it under his name. Under the instruction of Srila Rupa and Sanatana, Gopal Bhatta Goswami installed one of the 7 principal deities of Vrindavana, the Radha Ramana deity. The Saivites or priests of the Radha Ramana temple belong to the Gaudi Sampradaya. When Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami took permission from all the Vaishnavas before writing Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Gopal Bhatta Goswami also gave him his blessings, but he requested him not to mention his name in the book. Therefore, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has mentioned Gopal Bhatta Goswami only very cautiously in 1 or 2 passages of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay, so that is the, okay, let me just finish it. Srila Jiva Goswami written in the beginning of this Tattva Sandarbha, a devotee from South India who was born of Brahmana family and was a very intimate friend of Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, has written a book that he has not compiled chronologically. Therefore, I, a tiny living entity known as Jiva, am trying to assort the events of the book chronologically, consulting the direction of great personalities like Madhvacharya, Sridhar Swami, Ramanujacharya, and other senior Vaishnavas in the disciplic succession. In the beginning of the Bhagavad Sandarbha, there are similar statements by Srila Jiva Goswami. Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami compiled a book called Satkriya Sara Deepika, edited the Hari Bhakti Vilasa, wrote a foreword to the Satsandarbha and commentary on the Krishna Karnamrita, and installed the Radha Ramana deity in Vrindavan. In the Gauraganya Deshi Deepika, it is mentioned that his previous name in the pastimes of Lord Krishna was Ananga Manjari. Sometimes he is also said to have been an incarnation of Guna Manjari. Srinivasa Acharya and Gopinath Pujari were two of his disciples. Okay, so that is about, and there is further information. So, and then further coming to the another devotee, it is the disappearance day of Sri Ramachandra Kaviraja, so who is very dear friend of Narottama Das Thakur. Okay, so from the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 11th, the expansion of Lord Nityananda, text 51. The 58th great devotee of Lord Nityananda Prabhu was Kamsari Sena. The 59th was Ramasena. 60th was Ramachandra Kaviraja. And the 61st, 62nd, and 63rd were Govinda, Sri Ranga, and Mukunda, who were all physicians. Sri Ramachandra Kaviraja, the son of uh, Kandavasi, Chiranjeeva, and Sunanda, was a disciple of Srinivasacharya and the most intimate friend of Narottama Das Thakura, who prayed several times for his association. His youngest brother was Govinda Kaviraja. Srila Jiva Goswami very much appreciated Sri Ramachandra Kaviraja's great devotion to Lord Krishna and therefore gave him the title Kaviraja. Sri Ramachandra Kaviraja, who was perpetually disinterested in the family life, greatly assisted in the preaching work of Srinivasa Acharya and Narottama Das Thakura. He resided at the first in Srikanda but later in the village of Kumaranagara on the bank of the Ganges. Govinda Kaviraja was the brother of Ramchandra Kaviraja and youngest son of Chiranjeeva of Srikanda. Although at first a Shakta or worshipper of goddess Durga, he was later initiated by Srinivasa Acharya Prabhu. Govinda Kaviraja also resided first in the Srikanda and then in Kumaranagara, but later he moved to the village known as Telia Budari on the southern bank of the river Padma. Since Govind Kaviraja, the author of two books, Sangeeta Madhava and Geetamrita, was a great Vaishnava Kavi or poet, Srila Jiva Goswami gave him the title Kaviraja. He is described in the Bhakti Ratnakara. Kamsari Sena was formerly Ratnavali in Braja as described in the Gauragona Deshadipika. Okay, there is in Srila Prabhupada's purport to the Vaishnava Bhajan, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu by Shri Narottama Das Thakura, he explains, actually Narottama Das Thakura was in the disciplic succession after Srinivasa Acharya, or almost he was contemporary, and his personal friend was Ramchandra Chakravarti. And so he is praying that I always desire the company of Ramachandra, the devotee's company. The whole process is that we should always be praying mercy of the superior acharyas and we should keep company with pure devotee. Then it will be easier for us to advance in Krishna consciousness, to receive the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Krishna. This is the sum and substance of this song sung by Narottama Das Thakura. And that is from the event's perspective. Okay, so that is appearance day of Gopal Bhatta Goswami and disappearance day of Ramchandra Kaviraja. Okay, we shall move into our daily Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. The Srimad Bhagavatam. So Lord Brahma, he has offered his prayers and then he has been tired and then kept silent. Now Maitreya Muni is speaking, and what has happened after that. So Brahma is now dejected how he can create the universe further. And by looking at Brahma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, seeing his Brahma's rejection, he has started speaking with the deep, thoughtful words to remove the impurities from the heart of Brahma. Athavipreta manviksha brahmano madhusudan विषिन्न चेतसं तेन कल्पवितिकराम्भसाम् लोक संस्थान विज्ञान आत्मनः परिकिज्यतः तम्माह अगाधय वाचा कश्मलं शमयन्निव. The Lord is speaking to Brahma. So what he is speaking? So today the first statement by the Lord to Brahma. O my dear Brahma, O personified intelligence, and like he is addressing O Veda Garbha. So do not worry. I have arranged everything for you. You simply carry out. Whatever you have been praying, I have already arranged. Just be an instrument in your duty. That's all. Everything is arranged. Likewise, Lord is saying to Brahma as a first statement. Okay, we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, chapter 9, and verse number 29. Shri Bhagavan Vacham मा वेदगर्भगात्रन्द्रीं सर्गमुद्यमम् आवहम् तन्मयापादितं ह्यग्रे यन्मां प्रार्थयते भवान् मा वेदगर्भगात्रन्द्रीं मा वेदगर्भ वेदगर्भ is oh you who have the depth of the Vedic wisdom. So likewise Lord is addressing Lord Brahma. Oh, you have the depth of all Vedic wisdom. Ma, Vedagarbha, and then Ma, do not. What do not? Gastandrim. So here it comes later on. Gastandrim. Ma, Vedagarbha, Gastandrim. Do not become dejected. Gastandrim. Become dejected. Sarga Uddhamamavaha. So, in your duty to create this universe. Sarga is the for creation. Udyamam enterprises. Avaha you just undertake in your duty. Sarga udyamam avaha. Tanmaya apaditam hegre. Tan maya apaditam. That which you want, that maya by me apaditam executed, which is already arranged for you. Apaditam already given to you. Hegre certainly in the beginning itself. So you have engaged yourself dushcharantapaha, chakadda dushcharantapaha. You have executed your penances, just simply carrying out the instructions. Just ta and pa. Lord says the two letters, ta and pa. And then by just hearing that sound, he engaged the tapasya for a long time. So by the time itself, the Lord has arranged everything for Lord Brahma. But simply he needs to carry out. Tanmaya paridam hegre. Just he needs to execute his duty. That's all. Yanmam pradhayate bhavan. And yanmam, uh, yet is which, mam from me, pradhayate, begging bhavan, you. So whatever you have been asking me, or Brahma is asking previously, um, just like a madhya गिरापन यथा पुरुषः पुराणः सोऽसावदभ्रकरुणो भगवान् विवृद्धा प्रेम स्मितेन नैनं गुरुहं विजृम्भन् उत्थाय विश्वविजयाय च नो विषादं माध्य गिरापन यथा पुरुषः पुराणः. He is receiving, he has prayed for the Lord to get his creative power. Okay, that is Pradayate Bhavan, that is the desire of Lord Brahma. And then Lord has Tanmaya Paritam Hegre, he has already arranged in the previously itself. Okay, likewise, Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is consoling Lord Brahma. Just do not worry. Ma Vedagarbhagatandrim Sargavudhyamamavaha Tanmaya Padidam Hegre Yenmam Pradhayate Bhavan. Okay, translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead then said, O Brahma, O depth of Vedic wisdom, be neither depressed nor anxious about the execution of creation. What you are begging from me has already been granted before. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I can request Swarup Prabhuji to read the purport.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna, all dear devotees. Any person, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, any person authorized by either the Lord or by his bona fide representative is already blessed, as is the work entrusted to him. Of course, the person entrusted with such a responsibility should always be aware of his incapability, and must always look for the mercy of the Lord for the successful execution of his duty. One should not be puffed up because he is entrusted with certain executive work. Fortunate is he who is so entrusted, and if he is always fixed in the sense of being subordinate to the will of the Supreme, he is sure to come out successful in the discharge of his work. Arjuna was entrusted with the work of fighting on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and before he was so entrusted, the Lord had already arranged for his victory. But Arjuna was always conscious of his position as subordinate to the Lord, and thus he accepted him as the supreme guide in his responsibility. Anyone who takes pride in doing responsible work but does not give credit to the Supreme Lord is certainly falsely proud and cannot execute anything nicely. Brahma and persons in the line of his disciplic succession who follow in his footsteps are always successful in the discharge of the loving transcendental service to the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Prabhuji. So here in this purport, one thing sometimes in our lives we would see as a practical experiences that some people will come to Krishna consciousness after very long time, and then they chant 16 rounds. But after deliberating and assessing what it means to them, but some people will come and quickly pick up and then follow all the rules and regulations, and then let's say some people will take very short time, and some people will take enough time, like couple of years or so. But some people still contemplating. So it is all by it is arrangements by the Lord. They're already pure devotees of the Lord. But somewhere or other they are stuck up. As soon as there is a curtain, Maya Javanikachennam, the curtain of Maya, it is removed, then you would see your real self. You are a pure Vaishnava. You are chanting rules and chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, following rules and regulations. You are very strict and disciplined. And then you execute. That is the real life. Just only curtain is removed. And then we think that, okay, because of the mercy of someone, I am just being. But actually, it is you have done already pious activities before. And then you are just simply continuing just after removing the curtain. Okay, so here any person authorized by either. So here curtain is to be removed by the bona fide person, bona fide representative of the Lord. If some other people will come, they will put some other layers instead of removing. They will put another curtain. So this curtain is beautiful. That one is beautiful. Like they don't show the actual thing. Okay, so any person authorized by either by the Lord or by his bona fide representative is already blessed, as is the work entrusted to him. And here, of course, the person entrusted with such responsibility should always be aware of his incapability and must always look for the mercy of the Lord for the successful execution of his duty. So here, and also again, one must be very cautious that It is all by the mercy of the Lord we come in contact with the bona fide spiritual succession. We must be cautious. We should not take that, though some devotees have been like that. We need to be understand that it is by the mercy of the Lord. We do not take any credit for ourselves. Okay, as long as we are completely depend on the mercy of the Lord, then only it will go successfully and smoothly. Anything like a puffed up thing, then immediately we would see some kind of ups and downs in our devotional service. So here one should not be puffed up because he is interested with certain executive work. And fortunate is he who is so interested, and if he is always fixed in the sense of being subordinate to the will of the Supreme Lord, he is sure to come out successful in the discharge of his work. Okay, this is exactly because the instructions we do not speculate, we do not contemplate everything, whatever Krishna has said in the Bhagavad Gita. One has to simply take that instructions, give it to the disciple or whoever is executing through the bona fide spiritual succession. We do not contemplate. Okay, when the devotional service is there, okay, this is there. If whether it is you take the responsibility and execute it or not, it is your choice. But Lord has arranged it. Either we participate or we do not participate. Things will go on. We would have seen so many things in the past times. Things would happen automatically, it would happen by the arrangement of the Lord. Whether I will take part within that service or not, it is my choice. If I take part, I will feel that happiness and I will be part of the Lord's service. Otherwise, I'm outside still watching it, or things are going on, some people are doing it, and but I'm not part of it. So, but it is our choice to be part of it inside or not. Okay, just nimitta matram bhavasa bisachin. Otherwise, Lord has arranged everything beforehand. So here, Arjuna was interested with the work of fighting on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And before he was so interested, so the Lord had already arranged for his victory. And also Arjuna could say, whenever in the Vishwarupa form, that everyone from the opposite party, many people are dying except the Pandavas. It is already arranged. And Lord is also confirming Bhishmam cha Jayadhritam, Bhishmam cha Dronam cha Jayadhritam cha. Everyone already, they were already died. And just Arjuna needs to be an instrument in the hand of Krishna. That's all. Okay, so this is the victory is already arranged. But Arjuna was always conscious of his position as subordinate. He is Sishyasteham Shadimam Tvam Prapannam. So whenever Arjuna he surrendered himself to Krishna as the Shishya, disciple. Disciple means he is following the instruction of the spiritual master, accepting the authority of Krishna. And thus he accepted him as the supreme guide in his responsibility. Anyone who takes pride in doing responsible work but does not give credit to Supreme Lord is certainly false proud and cannot execute anything nicely. He is a Krupanaha Palahetavaha. He wanted to enjoy the credits by himself. Palahetavaha. So again, Krishna describes such kind of people, the demonic natures in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. They do not know what to do, what not to do. So pravrittim cha nivrittim cha janana vidura asuraha. Na socham napi chacharo, na satyam teshu vidyate. And again, asatyam apritistam te jagadahuranishwaram aparaspara bhotam kimanyat kama haitukam. There is no base for this universe. Everything is by happening. No Lord Jagadahur Anishwaram. There is no Ishvara controller for this. And then Aparaspara Sambhotam Kimanyat Kama Haitukam. It is only for enjoyment. Because of that, everything taking birth, everything is taking place in this world. In such a way, they always think they are uh, अल्पबुद्धयः. So एतां दृष्टिम् अवष्टभ्य नष्टात्मनो अल्पबुद्धयः प्रभवन्ति उग्रकर्माणः क्षयाय जगतो अहिताः. क्षयाय जगतो अहिताः. कामम् आश्रित्य दुष्पूरं दम्भमानमदान्विताः मोहात् गृहीत्वा असद्ग्राहान् प्रवर्तन्ते अशुचिव्रताः दम्भमान मदान्विताः. The pride, and also because of that pride they're always puffed up. Madanvitaha. Is certainly proud and cannot execute anything nicely. All in their endeavors, they would only see the failure. Brahman persons in the line of disciplic succession who follow in his footsteps are always successful in discharge of loving transcendental service to the Supreme Lord. Okay, so because this work, it is always eternal. Who is engaged in the transcendental service to the Lord, that is eternal. Even if there are some mistakes, but they will be covered by the Lord. It will be finally successful. Okay, likewise, Prabhupada is explaining here. Yes, the Lord is saying, Ma Veda Garbhaga Strandrim Sarga Udyamamavaha Tanmaya Paridam Hegre Yanmam Pradayate Bhavan. Can I request dear devotee? It is a small shloka only to repeat line by line. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Ma Veda Garbhaga Strandrim
Ma
Ma
Veda
Veda
Garbhagastandrim
Garbhagastandrim
Sarga Udyamam Avaha
Sarga
Sarvadhyamam
Udyamam
Avaha
Avaha
Tanmaya Paditam Hegre
Tanmaya
Tanmaya
Paditam
Patitam
Hya
Hikre
Agre
Yanmam Pradayate Bhavan.
Yam Mam
Yanmam
Prathayate
Pratyate
Bhavan.
Bhavan.
Okay. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri
Shri Bhagavan
Vacha
Uvacham
Ma Vedagarbhagastandrim
Ma
Ma
Veda
Veda
Garbhagastandrim
Garbhagastandrim
Sarga Udyamam Avaha
Sarga Uddhamam
Sarvadhyamam
Avaha
Avaha
Tanmaya Padam Hegre
Tanmaya
Tanmaya Paditam
Patitam
Hya
Hikre
Agre
Yanmam Pradayate Bhavan.
Yanmam
Yanmam
Prathayate
Pratyate
Bhavan.
Bhavan.
What? Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri
Shri
Bhagavan
Bhagavan
Vacha
Uvacham
Ma Vedagarbhagastandrim
Ma
Ma
Veda
Veda
Garbhagastandrim
Garbhagastandrim
Sarga Udyamam Avaha
Sarga
Sarvadhyamam
Udyamam
Avaha
Avaha
Tanmaya Padam Hegre
Tanmaya
Tanmaya
Patitam
Paditam
Hikre
Hya Agre
Yanmam Pradayate Bhavan.
Yanmam
Yanmam
Pratyate
Prathayate
Bhavan.
Bhavan.
Very beautiful. Okay, can I request devotees kindly take a turn to recite this shloka? Swarup Prabhuji, would you like to go first?
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Ma Veda Garbhagastandrim Sarga Uddayamam Avaha Tanmaya Paditam Hikre Yanmam Prarthayate Bhavan.
Very beautiful. Thank you, Prabhuji. Saranya Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna. Shri Bhagavanuvāja Ma Veda Garbhagastandrim Sarga Udyamamavaha Tanmaya Patitam Hekre Yanmam Prarthayate Bhavan.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Jai Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. Shri Bhagavana Uvacha Ma Veda Garbha Gastandrim Sarga Udyamam Avaha Tanmaya Paditam Hya Agre Yanmam Prarthayate Bhavan. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Asha Mataji, please.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु श्रीभगवानुवाच मा वेदकर्पकास्तन्द्रीं शर्क उद्यमम् आवह तन्मया पादिदं हि अग्रे यन्मां प्रार्थय देववान्.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. And Radha Sevaka Mataji, please. Devashish Prabhuji, please. If Usha Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, thank you. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Ma Veda Garbhaga Sandrim Sarga Udyamam Avaha Tanmaya Tanmaya Paditam Hegre Yanmam Partayate Bhavan.
Very beautiful. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Manoj Prabhuji, would you like to try? Okay, that's fine. Okay, that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Ma Veda Garbhagastrandrim Sarga Udyamamavaha Tanmaya Paritam Hegre Yanmam Pradhayate Bhavan. Can I request anyone to read the translation, please?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead then said, O Brahma, O depth of Vedic wisdom, be neither depressed or nor anxious about the execution of creation. What you are begging from me has already been granted before. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you,
Jai.
Mataji. Srimad Bhagavatam jai.
Guru Jai.
Srimad Bhagavatam Srimad Prabhupada's daily letter to Danavir, February 11th, 1971, Gorakhpur. Mataji, Usha Mataji, would you like to continue reading this letter as well?
Okay, Hare Krishna. My dear Sriman Danavir, please accept my blessings. I am very glad to have in hand your letter dated Neil from Los Angeles Temple. You are a very fortunate boy that you have got a very good friend in Sriman Madhukanta Das because he has actually saved you from the clutches of Maya. I am so glad to see that you are understanding the distinction between Krishna consciousness and materialistic frustrated consciousness by association with this movement. Thank you for your nice appreciation of the spiritual master. Unless one has got utmost confidence in both spiritual master and Krishna, he cannot advance on the path of bhakti yoga of Krishna consciousness. Please keep up this nice attitude and render service sincerely, and your life will come to perfection. Love of Krishna. I am very glad to accept you as my initiated disciple, and I have duly chanted your beads, which are written to you herewith. Your spiritual name is Danavid Das Brahmachari. Danavid means hero of charities. Now be very firm in your determination to carry out your devotional duties, the first of which is to chant 16 rounds of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra daily, without committing the 10 kinds of offenses to the holy names and strictly regulating your uh, life to the four principles of no meats, fish, or eggs eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, life, and no taking of intoxicants. Try to study our philosophy with penetration and understand the sublime nature of this philosophy and its uh, practical necessity for the whole mankind. You are an intelligent and thoughtful boy, so kindly utilize all your good talents faithfully in the service of Krishna, and you will be fully happy and swiftly advancing. Hope this will meet you in good health. Your ever well wisher is Bhaktivedanta Swami Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. Any takeaway points, Mataji, from this letter?
So Prabhupada is very happy with Danavir because he gave that name to Danavir, and he is telling what is the meaning of that Danavir. So the things is they said Sriman Madhukant also uh, saved you from the clutches of Maya. So he's appreciating, and he is in Krishna conscious movement. And the Prabhupada said that when the spiritual master, uh, you have to be very faith and in spiritual master and then Krishna. So we uh, that without a spiritual master, you can't say straight approach to Krishna, but that you have to have a spiritual master. So Prabhupada accepting him in his disciple, and that he give him a name, Danvi. So Danvi is the hero of charities, and that he Prabhupada said that follows the regulated principles and avoid the 10 kind of offenses when you're chanting the holy names, and 16 rounds, and look for regulative principle as that like no meditating, no gambling, no illicit sex, or uh, that four regulative principle, and that Maha mantras you chant daily 16 rounds. So yes, Prabhu, that is the necessity, and then they said you can come out from places Maya, and you can, if you faithfully have a faith in Krishna consciousness, you will be swiftly advancing in Krishna consciousness. So the main takeaway is 16 rounds daily, and then four regulative principles follow. That is the Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Very nicely explained. Any other comments, dear devotees?
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Mataji.
Just a point here. It's so nice to see the importance of a good association, because association can save you from the clutches of Maya. And Shriman Danavir has realized, how important it is to be in Krishna consciousness, obviously after falling into Maya, but then realizing that whatever he was into was not a nice thing to be in. So he's now realized that the material side can be very frustrated and can bring people down. So always associate with good devotees, and they will bring you up and help you and pull you up. So that's quite nice to see that, a good example here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. It's just association, devotees association. Okay, any other comments? Okay, so that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter. So just by Tulaya Malavena Pinaswargamna Apunarbhavam Bhagavad Sangya Sangasya Matyanam Ki Mutashashaha, a moment of devotees association, it will bring up so much of fortunate, and it is greater than even the liberation, all the comforts of material world or even the heavenly planets. Okay, so that is the moment of devotees association to know, and more they will be able to enter into the pastimes of the Lord. Otherwise, it is not possible for them. Vina Mahatpada Rajobhishekam. And also appreciating the spiritual master. It is also needed because unless we appreciate spiritual master, we cannot follow his instructions. So we need to identify what are the great qualities of our spiritual master, and then pray for his good health and for his movement, for his mission, and at the same time we appreciate his endeavors, and he is following in the footsteps of his spiritual masters. So one has to follow This is one has got utmost confidence, unless one has got utmost confidence in the both spiritual master and Krishna, he cannot advance in the path of Bhakti Yoga of Krishna consciousness. See, it is Brahmande Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jiva, Guru Krishna Krupaya Paya Bhakti Lata Bheja. Who has got the mercy of Guru and Krishna? This Bhakti Lata Bheja. So he will advance. And that is from the Chaitanya Charitamrita it describes. So one has to Syan Mahasya Vipraha Punyati Dhanishevana Sustrusha Sradhanasya Vasdeva Kataruchihi Syan Mahasya Vipraha Punyati Dhanishevana. Surrender service sincerely and your life that will come to perfection, love of Krishna. Okay, that is Susrusha Shraddhanasya. Susrusha by rendering service to the spiritual master. Okay, again, Prabhupada is very happy to initiate Danavir Das Brahmachari, hero of charities. Okay. Okay, this is very beautiful. Comments from Prabhupada. Again, following, asking him to follow 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra daily without committing the 10 kinds of offenses to the holy name, and strictly regulating your life to the 4 principles of no meats, no fish, no eggs, no gambling, no illicit sex life, and no taking of intoxicants. And try to study our philosophy with penetration and understand the sublime nature of this philosophy and its practical necessity for the whole mankind. Okay, so and you are intelligent. He is Sumedasaha. It is for the intelligent people, not for blind people. He is doing, I will also do it. Not blindly following. One has to be intelligent to accept and deliberate the message. How it is changing his life, day-to-day life. Most of the times we see in the people, because we take birth in our family is Hindu and we go to this god, that god. It is very nice. And then at the end in the daytime, they do engage themselves in the sinful activities, drinking coffees, intoxicants, going here and there pubs. That is not very intelligent. Okay, the intelligent people and thoughtful boy here, Prabhupada is appreciating here, who is deliberating properly what it means to him in day-to-day life, how it is molding his life. So kindly utilize all your good talents faithfully in the service of Krishna, and you will be fully happy and swiftly advancing. Okay, that is Prabhupada very nicely explaining in this letter. Okay, that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter and from the announcements point of view. So today is Wednesday evening at 8 o'clock. It is Kirtan evening. Kirtanadeva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Brajet. Etanvidhyamananam Ichitam Akto Bhayam Yoginam Rupa Nirnitam Hare Namanu Kirtanam. And all the great sages, everyone, they have decided to sing and glorify Krishna. Hare Namanu Kirtanam. Janmalabha Parahpumsam Ante Narayana Smritihi. This is remembering the Lord by glorifying. Kirtanadeva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Rajet. So please come and at 8 o'clock and sing the glories of Krishna. Okay, and be happy. Okay, that is from Srila Prabhupada's and announcements point of view. And dear devotees, if you have got any updates or you wanted to share anything on Krishna consciousness, kindly do so. Okay, if there are no updates, then we shall conclude and continue with further japa. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa
वैष्णव नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय।